I want to read all of the properties of this measure. Here we have one Power BI desktop file. This is just one simple table with 4 measures, and all of these measures are interdependent. So measure 1 is dependent on a column from this table. Measure 2 is dependent on measure 1. Measure 3 is dependent on measure 2, and measure 4 is dependent on measure 3. So they are all interdependent in this direction. I'm going to add some properties for this measure in diagram view. So I added the description, synonyms, I added custom formatting, and so on. So we have something to work with. And we are going to use a tabular editor to read all of these properties values. First, I'm going to connect us to this Power BI desktop file. Now that we are connected, we are going to first use this small piece of code to read all of the possible properties that exist for one measure. Here we're going to say for each property that exists for a measure as an object, write its name. And when I run this code, I'm going actually to get this. So these are all possible properties of a measure. Some of them are familiar, like data type or DAX table name, object name, and some of them are unknown to me, for example, like extended properties and annotations, but in total there are 36 of these properties. Now that we know how many properties are, we can create a code that will read all of their values, and I already have prepared such code in here. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to place it in a tabular editor. Here it is. Now this code has this line here that says read only properties for measure 2, but if we delete this line, it will read all properties for all the measures. And you should also change this location of this file to be on your computer, to use your full path. Now if I click on run, this code will run, and we are going to get this list. Here we can see all the values for all properties. Now I highlighted some of the familiar ones. For example, we can see data type. We know that our measure is named measure 2. It belongs to sample table. It has description, display folder, expression, DAX expression, format string, and so on. Now, two of these properties are unique to tabular editor. They don't exist in Visual Studio, and those are depends on. Now, depends on will show us all objects that our measure depends on. For example, our measure is measure 2, it depends on measure 1, and measure 1 depends on this table, that is, it depends on this column. And in other direction, we have a reference by properties that says that measure 3 and measure 4 are dependent or on our measure 2. If you look at the code, we can see that there is a way to read all of the, I will call them simple properties, because they only have one value to present, and we read their name, name of a measure, name of a property, and its value. But we are excluding all of these properties. These properties have can have several values. For example, we have here synonyms. As we saw in our table with results, synonyms, there are two values for synonyms, so we cannot read all of these properties in this way. We have to read them using different syntax, and we can see that this is the syntax that we are using for extended properties and annotations. For these translations and synonyms, you are using this syntax, and for and also for in perspective, and for those special properties depends on and referenced by, we are using this syntax. So we are just reading one property in a time and its value, and at the end we get all of the values, and now we know everything about our measure.